Xiaomi seem to have put together an amazing flagship contender with Leica-tuned cameras and hopefully professional-grade features. How far can 13T Pro bring us in terms of satisfaction? Let's inspect! So I think this textured design on the back is pretty awesome, but when I was discussing it with my wife, she said it's pretty lame. So who would you agree with? My wife's opinion, or you like it as much as I do? Well, that's Xiaomi 13T Pro, something I had the chance to use as a daily driver before switching to Google Pixel 8 Pro, and gave it a chance to convince me because it has almost everything that it takes to fit within the cliché flagship killer. And in this video, I'm going to talk about the hardware, discuss the camera qualities, show you all the details about the software, and basically expose everything that really matters about Xiaomi 13T Pro. Let's dive into it. As a starter, availability is limited to the usual regions where Xiaomi's smartphone business is operational, meaning that even if you try to spend these $800 being the starting price in the USA, this won't really work because the phone is not being sold in North America. The brand is well settled here in Europe and recognized for good value, but $800, certainly pricey. So, unboxing. Xiaomi keep on using the same style of their boxes, which I guess could be a relief because the thickness suggests that they still provide an in-box charger. This slim box at the top represents the housing for the case and some papers. Then the phone, it looks like the blue color is a trend lately. Not my favorite tint of blue, but the color looks fresh and the leather texture is not slippery. This is where I usually criticize Xiaomi for bringing in boring cases, and having a transparent case yet again is, but this protective bump keeping the camera lenses safe is a good solution for the phone, not for your jeans and pockets. Nice cuts on the sides, non-rounded edges, limited amount of cuts, apparently a 3.5mm audio jack is missing. The power and the volume buttons are at the same side. Luckily, Xiaomi didn't cheap out on the charger, 120 watts brick, that's pretty nice. I dare you hear about the specs. Dimensity 9200 Plus system on a chip. This is a powerful beast. There's up to 16GB of RAM, up to 1TB storage, a large display with 144Hz refresh rate and peak brightness of up to 2600 nits, 120-watt quick charging for the 5000 mAh battery, Wi-Fi 7 support, Bluetooth 5.4 and most of the latest connectivity standards, launched with MIUI 14 based on Android 13. I think we can agree the display looks pretty stunning and characteristics are very similar to what we got with Xiaomi 13 Ultra from a few months ago. And finally, this is a smartphone which outdoor has performance very similar to my beloved Galaxy S23, especially under direct sunlight. But probably some of you would know that the company doing these panels is not really famous for the most quality panels out there. I don't know, time is going to show how durable these are. But you know what? The displays are not really the most interesting component here. It's the lack of a Snapdragon inside. Yes, you heard me right. Over here we don't have Snapdragon 8 Generation 2. Instead, Xiaomi have opted for the much more affordable Dimensity 9200 Plus, which promises to be as good. And I would say that in terms of crawling, overall performance, gaming experience, yes, it comes very close, unless we talk about AI performance, which is mostly notable when it comes to the camera operation. And again, we have the Leica branding, a lot of great promises, because now when it comes to video, the smartphone app even supports applying LUTs, which probably says nothing to you unless you are a video editing enthusiast, but it's a fact. I have used some videos recorded with this smartphone in some of the reviews already posted on the channel, so yeah, the camera can be quite capable. Some easy-to-win points as a starter. Of course, daytime performance is going to be decent. Dynamic range, exposure, colors, these are Leica-tuned and close to perfect. The darker it gets, the more challenging it is for the algorithms and the Dimensity 9200 Plus AI to catch up. But nighttime photography is rather decent. Not yet at the level of some of the best of 2023, but definitely close. Truth is that the differences between the top smartphones of 2023 are really minor, but it's also true that Snapdragon's grade of AI is doing more optimizations about low-light photos and less mistakes, like this one. There have been a few times where the portrait mode was a bit disappointing, especially about these artifacts where bokeh was presented. Putting this aside, almost all of the other modes for the main camera, regardless day or night, have worked flawlessly. The ultra-wide camera can produce some good snaps as well, but don't expect too much out of it because the image sensor is rather small. I can't say too many good words about the so-called telephoto. It represents a 2x zoom, so not even close to 13 Pro or Ultra's magnification, but with some digital help, it is well usable. No optical image stabilization though, that's a minus. Video, on the other hand, is well implemented for all the cameras, especially concerning the main image sensor. This is a Pro phone, and there is the 24 frames per second recording mode, which most professionals would use. For the record, the vanilla Xiaomi 13T doesn't support this frame rate. It's a good moment to praise the camera app used here. If you come from an older generation of a Mi phone, it's gonna be a significant change. In fact, we have the current layout which is implemented for the high-end Xiaomi phone members. Although the old MIUI camera app was also good, this here goes even further. Besides the numerous effects for taking photos, most of the tricks are related to video. There's teleprompter mode so that you can read your script while recording your videos, or the LUTs that you can apply, video professional mode with ability to control a lot of parameters manually. It is really solid, until you try to record 4K video with the front camera. Because you can't. Maximum resolution is again 1080p with electronic image stabilization, which is good in most cases, but it cannot be as smooth as this. Record it with a Galaxy phone, in case you wonder. After all, I believe the rank given by DxOMark is kind of fair. Would recommend to you who own the phone to use the main image sensor as much as possible, and will hope that future updates are going to extract more of the capacity of the excellent system on chip used here. Speaking of the SoC and the performance, yes, it is super smooth, yes, it responds immediately. In fact, I feel that Xiaomi managed to tune it better than what they did with the Snapdragon or the Non-T series, and I like the experience with games. It is the same grade of smoothness and responsiveness. The big and vivid screen adds on top of the positive experience so far, and with up to 144Hz refresh rate, this means that 13T Pro is among the most capable high-end smartphones about gaming right now. Although just a very few games are capable of hitting the maximum refresh rate over here. And when we add the good speakers to these rather good ingredients, I think multimedia and gaming are on par with the expectations. Would you agree? Looks like even without the Harman Kardon marketing, Xiaomi can tune their speakers really well. Battery life is also on the good side. Although MIUI is not that great about standby consumption, it can get you through the day even more with regular usage. Promises are up to 8 hours screen on time approximately, and about 30 plus hours combined usage for the 5000 mAh battery inside. Honestly, this is kind of the same what a 3900 mAh battery inside my S23 gives me with extra SIM card, so it's not that impressive after all. You cannot recharge it wirelessly, but connecting a cable to the provided adapter is going to top it up fully within just 20 minutes. Having spent months with the Galaxy S23, I can tell you that this quick charging feature makes a big difference. There are certain improvements on the connectivity side as well. There aren't many smartphones these days that come with Wi-Fi 7 support, and this one has it. 12T Pro was last year's first Xiaomi phone with eSIM, so the new generation keeps it. Infrared-based remote control app, a very up-to-date generation of Bluetooth, high-grade Gorilla Glass protection on the display, but Xiaomi have implemented a lightweight and a plastic frame, and a Type-C port with USB 2.0 specifications for the 1TB storage option with USB 2.0. Kinda weird. Are you ready to hear what's up with the software? Because finally, there are some very positive news. 4 generations of OS support updates and 5 years of security patches. Expiration date of this smartphone is at least 2028. I believe this is the first time Xiaomi promised that long support window, and I guess it's Google to thank about it because of their promise of 7 years support for the new Pixel series. So now the only thing which is left to fix with these smartphones these days are the non-removable batteries, because as soon as we can easily replace them, smartphones will finally be a consumer-friendly product. Sounds too good, so let's get back to the software. It's Android 13 on the Xiaomi's MIUI 14 skin, and it's very responsive, rich on functions and keeping most of these features that Xiaomi users traditionally enjoy with the operating system. But several tiny changes may have a big impact. As a starter, there still are some little bugs and glitches which should not be around for a high-end smartphone. For example, the settings search feature is not indexing all the options, and I had to manually find the location where the camera launch with the double press of the power button is being activated. There also are some old and gold functions removed, such as the classic control center. For the 2 years since Xiaomi have presented this new control center, which is kind of an iPhone rip-off, I can't get used to it and have always selected the classic edition. Now I'm forced to use it, and I'm not happy about it. Android as an operating system is supposed to be about customization and choices. Other than that, MIUI has some quite unique implementations, such as the dual app function, letting you use 2 instances of the Messenger, WhatsApp or any other app of your choice, the better sidebar, the advanced gaming mode, the many customizations you wouldn't find with other distributions, and finally no ads. In my case, I've had 0 ads shown while using the phone, and I hope it's gonna stay for good. This doesn't feel as stock Android, although you could use one of these customization themes and hey, that's pretty close to the Pixel series. And now all that we can do is to expect next year's HyperOS release, so to be continued. If you want to hear about the drawbacks, there is no wireless charging. I'm a bit worried about the integrity of the plastic frame, the USB 2.0 standard used bothers me, and the very basic selfie camera performance. So maybe not really a true flagship, although it has a lot of flagship-grade features, meaning that if you're looking for a smartphone with exceptionally good performance, with a good camera stack, with a long-lasting battery, very quick charging and software support for up to 5 years, which was confirmed by Xiaomi at the launch, at the budget, which is pretty reasonable, that could be the ultimate choice. Yes, I'm really curious what's going to happen next year when they decide to push the new HyperOS operating system, and maybe you can check the comments below to stay up to date with what really is the latest around this smartphone. Now, if you wonder, should you upgrade to this one in case you already have a Xiaomi 13 device? I would say not really necessary, because there aren't enough upgrades. In fact, some of the parts are not as good. But if you already have the 12T or 12T Pro from last year, there certainly are a number of components which are going to impress you. And that's my take on Xiaomi 13T Pro. In case you have some questions or you have something else to say, the comments is the right place to do it. As usual, some more information about the product, ways to support my work here on the channel, you're gonna find in the video description area. And I thank you very much for watching this video till the end. I'm the TechMishka, gonna see you soon.